Hello friends, it's Shan here. Welcome back to Golf with Shan. Today is the middle of winter here in Canada and I have been using my full set of custom fitted PXG golf clubs for one full golf season plus 1 month in Thailand. In today's video, I am going to be sharing my honest review of whether or not I think these golf clubs are worth it. Now, PXG is definitely a unique brand within the golf industry, and I have come to realize after owning these that it comes with its own set of stereotypes. The first stereotype is that PXG golf clubs are really expensive, and I would argue that for pretty much all of the new golf clubs from all of the golf brands. So you guys be the judge of whether you think it's worth it or not. The second stereotype is that while we were in Asia, we golfed with a Korean couple, and the guy told me that apparently in Korea, there's a stereotype that if someone owns a full set of PXG golf clubs, they're either really good, like professional, or complete trash, like really bad. And I told him, I think I'm somewhere in between, right? And he goes, you're definitely upper. Thanks a lot. In general, I just want to say I am happy with my new clubs. I am not ashamed of my golf game, which is why I'm sharing it with you guys on the internet. And even if you are fairly new to golf and want or have PXG golf clubs, don't let anyone judge you or stop you. Here's a quick disclaimer. This is not a sponsored video. PXG doesn't know I'm doing this. They didn't pay me to say anything in this video. I purchased 14 golf clubs with the full bag promotion last summer, and I have been playing with these clubs for one golf season. These are also the first set of custom fitted golf clubs I have ever owned in my life, and the only PXG golf clubs I have ever owned in my life. So please, what I'm trying to say is take this video with a grain of salt. Know that it is only my experience based on my set of golf clubs. Please do your own research. I made this video highlighting my complete fitting experience for these PXG golf clubs. By the way, if you are in Toronto, I would highly recommend this location. I got my fitting for free, and I believe they do that throughout the year, have free fittings. So if you are near Toronto or the GTA, I would highly recommend checking it out. Again, not being paid to say this, I just had a good experience. I also made this other video unboxing these golf clubs when I first got them, and in that video I also highlight the price and the specific customizations I had on every single club. So if you want to see what I had changed on the club head, the shaft, the grip, all of that, go ahead and check out this video and this video for the fitting. Alrighty, let's get started. I do like to section these videos, so timestamps will be down below in the description if you want to skip ahead to any section in the video. Here's the summary of cost, because we can't make a worth it video without mentioning the cost. So I have it written down here. I got 14 golf clubs plus the bag and hat for a total of $3,463.45. This is all going to be in Canadian dollars and after tax. Let's just say the bag and the hat are free gifts, even though they're worth over $200. Then for 14 golf clubs, that breaks it down to $247 per golf club. Now, I think that's a pretty good deal if you've looked at purchasing new golf clubs these days. Obviously, different golf clubs are going to cost different prices, but that is why I think it's more worth it, because the $247 per golf club also includes like driver and putter and woods, which generally cost more than $200 brand new. Another thing to note is that PXG always has sales or promotions going on. Also, if you are military, they have special discounts for you. So definitely keep your eyes out. Look out for the sales and promotions. You pretty much never have to buy PXG's full price. They have a sale going on right now for the new Gen 5s. What I like to say is go for a fitting, especially if you can get it for free. Don't knock it until you try it. All right, let's get started with the first category, and that is going to be irons. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe most people go to PXG for their irons. They are very known for having one of the best irons in the golf industry. So yeah, it's with pretty good reason, because I really liked my new irons. I got the Gen 4 0311P irons. They are not the easiest to hit, so I wouldn't recommend them for complete beginners, but they're also not the most difficult. It wasn't a difficult transition for me to get used to these irons. I did try an iron with a smaller head and I didn't like it. and I know that I cannot hit a blade iron, and then visually I don't like looking down and the iron looks really thick. So for me, all of those combined, the 0311Ps were kind of the middle ground, and it looked nice. It felt like similar to what I had before. The next thing I will say, and this is a trend across the board, is the shaft. So I previously had all just Lady Flex off the rack golf clubs, and those were a little too whippy for me. Since I've upgraded to a senior flex, we didn't change the weight. So similar weight, just a little bit stiffer. I have realized that I don't do those snap hooks as much. I don't really hit right anyways, but I don't snap hook as much. And so everything is kind of more centralized, more direct aim. One more thing I will mention, I did try irons from PXG that gave me like 10 plus yards on my 7 iron, and that is great. But overall performance wise, I had worse landing angle and way more rolls. In other words, I would have gotten more distance, but I couldn't control the ball. It would land in the front of the green and roll to the back, and that's not what I want. So these clubs gave me about half a club more distance, so not too much, but I got a lot better control, where I personally noticed the ball landing on the green and then it not rolling very much, or sometimes even staying in place. And that's great for me because that's what I want. I want the ball to land on the green and not go anywhere, especially if it's like an island green, there's bunkers around. You don't want the ball to roll away. You want the distance from your longer clubs. Now let's talk about the quality, because this is where it was slightly disappointing to me. I noticed a few like little dents on the iron after just a few rounds. And the thing is, my old R11 golf clubs I had for 10 years, okay? 10 years! They've gone to 3 continents with me on quite a few flights and have no dents on them. They're perfectly smooth still. Whereas these golf clubs have gone 1 golf season, approximately 5 months. They're not smooth anymore. Now, I don't use iron covers on the golf course because I think it's kind of annoying to take on and off. You guys don't come at me. I have never thrown a golf club ever in my life. I rage internally in silence, okay? I treat these golf clubs the same as I have treated all of my golf clubs. So definitely it's not because I've done anything different with them. And when I traveled to Thailand, I did put iron covers on them because I know how check luggage goes through a lot. Okay, so I just did some research. The PXG irons that I have are forged irons, which across the board with different brands as well, forged irons do tend to dent easier. I think maybe because the metal is softer. I don't really know the science behind it, so please don't quote me, but I think this is a pretty common thing, so I don't want to I don't want to put it out there that like the PXG irons are significantly worse in any way than other forged irons. That might just be a characteristic of them, and I should probably invest in some easily removable iron covers. And also my R11s before, I believe, are cast iron, so they are just kind of tougher. And especially, I think the problem is here in Canada, we do have some golf courses with more solid grounds, and so the fairways are harder. They're not as soft. Sometimes there's like little rocks around or leaves or branches or something, so all of that could have contributed to my irons. But yeah, something to take note of if you are purchasing PXG irons is that if they are forged irons, you just need to be a little more careful with them, and they do dent up easier than other types of irons. Alright, let's conclude the iron category on whether or not I think they are worth it. Definitely go and get fitted because they have quite a few irons. Don't just buy the cheapest one or the one that gives you more distance. Buy the one that gives you most accuracy in your budget. That's my one advice for you guys. Do I think they're worth it? In terms of performance, these irons are definitely worth it. They have upped my iron game, my approach shot game from my previous irons. My only complaint, again, is the quality. I was a little bit disappointed that the club heads were so easily dented. Again, they don't impact performance. I am going to keep using these because I don't have the budget for new ones yet. That's the only thing I will point out. But other than that, I say they are worth it, especially if you can get them on sale or with a promotion. Next club category, hybrids. Hybrids are something that I am still trying to figure out. It's been a struggle for me because they're in between an iron and a wood. That's literally what they're meant to be. But for me, like, I know how to hit irons, I know how to hit woods, but when you put a hybrid in my hand, I get confused. I don't know what it is. They're meant to be easier to hit than either, so I don't know. But I also know that I can't hit long irons, so 5 iron is where I cap. My irons stop at 5 iron, and I need a club that's kind of in the 170-yard distance between my 5-iron and woods, because as a female playing, golf courses, I get that distance quite often. Let's compare this hybrid to the other ones I've used. So I had the Adams hybrid, which I don't even know if they sell that anymore, but I didn't like it. It felt like an old wooden club, not good. I had the TaylorMade M6 hybrid, which is actually a really good hybrid. I really liked it. Again, the only thing is, ladies flex, it was a little whippy, so I would have those push hook shots a lot, and I did not like that. I am not one to just aim right if I know I'm gonna hit left. I always aim straight, because I want to train my brain to always aim straight and hit a straight shot instead of just, aiming more and more peripherally right and going left. So anyways, I had a lot of push hooks with the ladies flex, and so this golf club, I had the upgraded shaft on it, and that has definitely made an impact. The other thing with PXG golf clubs is they have the tungsten weights at the bottom, so you can adjust where you want the weight distribution to be on the golf club. That is definitely a plus with their hybrids, woods, drivers, all of their longer clubs. So that's definitely a plus. But does this hybrid stand out from other brands on the market? I'm gonna say no. So again, I did get this hybrid because I needed the shaft changed anyways, and they had the full bag promotion. This is definitely a good purchase for me as part of the set. But would I go specifically to PXG to purchase a hybrid? Probably not. Now that we're talking about the other clubs, one thing to note is that PXG is often not sold next to the other brands. So for us here in Canada, at Golf Town, you can try out Ping, Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, but you can't try PXG. And that's kind of the layer of mysteriousness that they've created in their business plan. I think there's nothing wrong with it, but it does lead people away from trying it, because you have to specifically go to PXG to only try PXG here. And you can't compare it to other brands. And so I am here to tell you, irons, go try them out. Hybrid, I would maybe try the other brands that you can try all at once, multiple brands, see which one fits you the best. And if none of them work, try the PXG one. Maybe it fits better for you. I don't know if I would specifically go to PXG for the hybrid. Let's move on to the next category, and that is going to be our woods. For woods, I got a 3-wood and a 5-wood. This is kind of the clubs that I've always played with, so haven't really changed it. Driver, 3-wood, 5-wood. The 3 and 5 wood, I got the Gen 4 0341X and love them, okay? I used to have the Adams Tight Lies, which I really liked. I don't think they sell them anymore, but the thing I liked about those ones was the flat profile of them. So one thing for me is visually from the top when I look down at the golf club, that's very important to me. For woods, I like them to be a little more flat. So I don't like a chunky wood where it feels like I'm hitting driver off the deck. If you guys have been following my channel and saw some of my videos in Thailand, the longer golf courses, I really had to use these on pretty much every hole, because the par 4s were just driver 5-wood, driver hybrid, driver 3-wood for me. And so I've used them a lot in Thailand, and they have been really good so far. So woods, highly recommend. Again, shafts, I did get upgraded to a senior shaft, so they're a little bit stiffer than my previous woods. One other thing I did was we had the shaft shortened by just like 1/3 of an inch or something, just a little bit, because I'm 5'2", guys, so I'm shorter than your average female, and definitely shorter than your average male. That's really helped with me because the club lays more flat on the ground with it being just slightly shorter, which means I'm actually hitting the center of the club face more instead of the inside of the club face, which I used to always do. So that's one thing to know. Again, you can change the weight distribution on the tungsten weights. You can refer to my unboxing video for exactly what I did, but those are all the positives of getting PXG woods. And do I think they're worth it? Again, with the promotion, definitely worth it. I actually would go back to PXG to look at their woods again and try their woods again, because these are one of the best woods I have hit in my life. So previously the Tight Lies, great. I have tried other people's woods and it just visually doesn't sit well with me. So the flat profile, the clean look, the feel of them with the correct shaft and shaft length, definitely worth it for me. All right, we're moving up and then we're gonna come back down. So now let's talk about the driver. Here's the big boy driver. This is where this video is gonna get a little more controversial. I have the Gen 4 0811X driver. Do I like it? I don't dislike it. So this is the part where, you know, I was all like, oh, everything's great. But the driver, I honestly didn't notice an improvement from my previous driver. I had the Callaway XR driver. It was the same degree, similar club head, and, you know, again, shaft is different. But I honestly, even for driver, I didn't notice an improvement with the shaft. All of the other clubs, I did notice an improvement. With the driver, it was still, like, overall, I didn't get more distance. I didn't get better numbers. I've gone to the TrackMan. I've gone to different simulators. I've actually compared the two, and nothing really has changed. I don't think it's the driver's fault necessarily, but I also, actually, I don't know. So that's it for you guys. I don't dislike this driver. It hasn't performed worse than my previous one, which is good, but it hasn't improved anything. I do like the feel of this club more than my previous one. So I like the feel that it's a little bit heavier. I used to always like taking my dad's clubs, and he obviously has like men's regular flex clubs, and I would always hit a slice with them, whereas with my driver, I would always hit a draw or a hook. And I think that's just the thing with stiffer shafts. So with this driver, I do find that I hit a lot more shots straight or a slight fade with this club versus my old one. Whereas my old one, my misses would be a giant hook. So good thing that's gone. The good shots would be a nice baby draw. And it's much harder for me to hit a baby draw with this club. If we're just gonna talk about hitting it forward, same distance onto the fairway, hasn't been a difference. So yeah, not really an upgrade on this one. Friends, buckle up because we have arrived at my favorite clubs. Okay, they're not the irons. My favorite clubs out of the full set that I got are my Sugar Daddy 2 milled wedges. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I love chipping. Prior to these golf clubs, I had the Cleveland wedges, which I also loved. Part of the reason why I love chipping so much is out of necessity, because my old irons, I used to just not hit greens in regulation a lot, so I would have to chip back onto the green. So I got a lot of practice. Maybe that's why I like chipping so much, because I get a lot of natural practice with them. But these wedges are butter soft. They feel so good. And it was a high order for me because I really loved my previous wedges. And so for these to feel better than those ones, for me personally, was a instant like, wow, you know? And then at the fitting, the guy told me that I believe these are 100% milled from a solid block of some kind of soft carbon steel. I'm not sure the science behind it. And the grooves on these are a little different. They extend the whole way, but visually you'll get over it really quickly. It hasn't impacted me at all. The other thing is these wedges on their own are so expensive. They are, if you buy them retail, they are they're on sale right now for 400 USD, which is well over 500 Canadian dollars plus tax. Just these two wedges were over 30% of the price I paid for all of these. Just those two wedges. I love these wedges. They're my favorite clubs out of the set. But would I purchase them separately, retail? I don't know. I mean, if you have all the money to spend and you're like, oh, $500 for a wedge before tax, go for it. Then yes, I would recommend them for you. But if not, I would try to get them when there is a promotion going on with other clubs and sneak those in. The fitter was really nice and he let me try these and I was like, I love these. And then he told me that like putting these in your 14 club set will make it really worth it for you. And I was like, you're right. And you know what? I tried them at the simulator on fake turf, not even on real grass. And I was like, these feel so soft. Yeah, don't take my word for it. Go try it yourself. Even if you don't intend on buying it, book a fitting, try them out, see if you like it. I have the 56 degree and 60 degree. That's kind of the thing I've been doing previously. My old Clevelands are also that degree. That's just what I'm used to. If you like a 58 degree, try that. Guys, these wedges are totally worth it. I'm very happy I got 2 sugar daddies this year. And finally, we have the putter. Now, some of you know I haven't been using this putter as much because I was using my old ping putter and I didn't want to change before I go on a golf trip. So I was still using that one. I did test this one out a little bit, and since I got the putting mat, check out this video, I did try it on the mat and I do really like this putter head. As a junior, I had the Ghost putter and I really liked it, but then I noticed that I wasn't coming across square on the club face too much, so it would sometimes be a little open, sometimes a little closed, and I found that the bigger club heads kind of eliminate that for me. I also like that the bat ears here are like a parallel alignment on either side of my ball, so it really helps for me to, one, hit the center of the club face because they are completely symmetrical on both sides, so that's really helpful. And the other thing is just visual alignment. So I will definitely be testing this out more often, and next season you guys will see me using it more and I'll upgrade you on that. In terms of putters, I find that a lot of companies will make the style of putter head that is popular at the time. Because you can't try PXGs next to the other brands, I would honestly try the other brands if you are looking to just get a putter instead of going to PXG. Yeah, again, I think they are really good putters. They are worth it for the weights that you can change. So you can, some people like the club head heavier, some people like the distribution different. Whatever you want, you can customize them in that way, and that's just across all the PXG clubs. But I especially go to them just for the putter. Personally, no, because I think putting is more you as the golfer. I think it's more about my putting skills, my putting stroke, than where I purchased the putter from. All right, let's summarize. Here is my order for most favorite to least favorite. First, it has to go to the wedges. You guys know I love them. They're kind of expensive though if you buy them alone, so get them with a promotion. Second is going to be the irons. I can overlook the tiny little dents because it doesn't impact performance, but because the performance was so much better than my previous irons, putting them second. Third is going to be the woods. I really like these woods. I didn't expect to. They're kind of like an afterthought for a lot of fittings, but woods are really important to me because I am, you know, a female. I do like to move the ball forward as much as I can on par 5s. I like going for it if there is a short par 5. Long par 4s, I need them. So woods are very important to me, and these ones definitely didn't disappoint. Fourth place goes to hybrid, just because it's good, but it's not anything stand out. Fifth place goes to putter. Again, good, doesn't really stand out, and I also haven't used it enough, so we'll come back to that one. And finally, driver. You know, I didn't improve anything, it didn't get worse, so in that way, not bad, but yeah. In summary, if you are looking to swap out your entire set of golf clubs, which I did, then I would definitely recommend going to get a full bag fitting with PXG, or, you know, go to wherever you want. But if you are looking at PXGs and you need the full set, do it. If you are looking for just one club category, I would recommend looking at their irons for sure, because that's a big number of your golf bag is your irons. So get that fitted. And then I would say if you can do the promotion, or if you just have $1,500 laying around and you want wedges, check those out. Third is going to be woods. In conclusion, do I think my PXG golf clubs are worth it? My answer is yes. With the promotion I got, these set of golf clubs are an improvement from my previous set, mostly for the shafts, the wedges, and the irons. Now, can I get similar results with a different brand? Absolutely, and you can too. But isn't that the thing with most products? If there's a large enough marketplace, there will be other brands selling similar products to you at similar prices, and you just have to find the one that fits you best. Sometimes we take the one that's right in front of us because it does what it needs to. At the end of the day, your technical skills matter more than the golf clubs you use. What's that saying, putting lipstick on a pig? Getting brand new golf clubs is not going to make your golf game any prettier if we don't solve the core issue. Overall, I am really happy with my golf clubs. Happy that for the first time in my life, I have custom fitted clubs to me at the proper shaft. I have the irons adjusted so they work perfect for me. So in that aspect, really happy. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button for me, especially if you found it helpful, informative. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!